Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
honorable guest and honorable speaker, Dr. Indranil Bose. Good afternoon, all the teachers, faculty members, and our dear students. Today, it is a great pleasure for all of us that we are going to organize an international seminar on the topic, the challenges of the corporate ethics in international HRM. And it is a proud moment for us that we have with us eminent speaker from abroad, Dr. Indranil Bose. And the Department of BBA, first of all, let me tell you about the thing that with the Department of BBA, we have started our journey from the year 2004 in Bidhan Chandra College. And since then, we are already passed, we have passed about 15 batches from our college, and successfully our students are placed in different areas and different corporate boards and other parts of the society. And since 2004, first time, due to this COVID situation mainly, we are going to organize such kind of webinar. And webinar, it is an international webinar. So I just welcome you all. And now the program will be conducted by our honorable teacher, Dr. Amit Banerjee. And I will hand it over the program to Dr. Amit Banerjee, please.
Thank you so much, sir. I think I'll just get started with the program. So a very good afternoon, everyone. And so the first international webinar on the challenges of the corporate ethics in the international HRM is an initiative by the Department of Professional Studies, Bidhan Chandra College. And it's basically intended for the college and university students and faculties and corporate professionals. As you understand, like the corporate ethics in the HRM plays a vital role in organizational structure these days. And that is why we need to create more of the awareness about the HRM issues. And we do intend to actually create more of this kind of academic enrichment program in the near future also. I'd like to particularly thank the organizing committee, particularly our patron, Professor Falguni Mukhopadhyay, our honorable principal, sir, and the joint conveners, Pratap Sarkar Rai and Kajol Goswami, sir, and Santanu, sir, who is actually with me on this one. Mr. Saeed Muhammad Faisal Ahmad also for supporting this initiative. And if you see, we have like 142 responses a total. Most of it is undergraduate students, so you can understand that they are quite keen into learning these things. And I'd like to thank our principal, sir, for all the encouragement. And I have a message for everyone, all the speakers and our participants also. I'd like to just play it to start the program with.
On behalf of my governing body, I welcome all participants, scholars, students of this program. The Department of BBA organized this program, the challenges of the corporate ethics in all participants, scholars, students of this. The Department of BBA organized this program, the challenges of the corporate ethics in international HRM. I hope by this workshop, the students of Bachelor of Business Administration and Allied HR must be benefited. I congratulate and I am really grateful to Professor Indranil Bose, who spent valuable time for my college. I express my deep gratitude to Dr. Bose. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. And I'd like to introduce our speaker today, who is a very eminent speaker from abroad. So Professor Indranil Bose is the Dean of School of Business, University of Bolton Academic Center at UAE, and he is also the Fellow of the Higher Education Ministry of UK. And just to give a brief introduction of Sir is from since 2015, Dr. Indranil Bose has been working in the capacity of the Dean of School of Business with the University of Bolton, UK at their International Academic Center based at UAE. Previously, he also taught as senior full-time lead faculty with the graduate and master's program of the University of Wolverhampton, UK. Pardon my pronunciation, at their UAE academic operations for approximately 1.5 years. In adjunct role, he was emerged as the empaneled faculty for the international graduate programs uh, for the business of University of London, UK, offered through the London School of Economics and Political Science for Middle East, North Africa Delivery Initiative through the British Council of Dubai. Also taught international online MBA programs at Middle East, teaching fellow of the University of London, UK through the Western International College, London, UK. He was also been impaneled faculty for the global MBA program offered by the Northwest University, Michigan, USA under the International Credit Transfer Agreement with the University of Bolton, RAK Academic Center, UAE. Dr. Indranil has the experience of teaching diverse student groups pursuing their vocational business management curriculum from level 4 to level 7 under different UK-based credit bodies, accreditation bodies such as Parson, HE, Equal, IAAP, etc., which are approved by Off Equal. And in India, he has taught with the universities and autonomous programs of the undergraduate and postgraduate levels of the business management. He's the fellow of the prestigious Higher Education Academy of the United Kingdom, a PhD in management from India. His teaching expertise lies in the research methodologies, strategies, HRM, and employee relationship, workforce modeling, etc. He has proven track records with various publications and listed in various like accreditation societies like Indexed with Web of Science, Thomas Reuters, and others, and he's been editor and reviewer with internationally acclaimed organizations, and has been awarded many awards from national and international bodies. And I like he has also been served as the external examiner for evaluate PhD thesis in the management research scholars enrollment for several prestigious universities in India, and still prefers to teach and learning practices through the problem-based approaches. So I think I'll hand it over to Professor Indranil Bose. Thank you so much, sir, for attending our program, and we are really honored to have you here.
I think I am audible, huh? So,
yes.
First is thank you so much for such a detailed introduction, and I'm really humbled. And so, first of all, I extend my grateful thanks to Professor Dr. Falguni Mukherjee. I call him Falguni Da. He is very known to me, not from now. He's known to me since 2002. So I worked under him in BB College Asansol. In the BB department, I started my career. I worked there for 5 years, and then I left the place and went to other places to work. And he is like the elder brother to me. So, and also I am thankful to Kajalda. Kajalda is very close. He's also like my elder brother, Kajal Goswami. So he's like my family friend. And I'm also thankful to everybody. So Asansol is nothing new to me. First of all, Asansol, I spent my early career in Asansol for almost 5.5 years. So 5 years, 4 months, I was with BB College Asansol. I was the founding faculty of BBA department there in the BB College. And after that, I passed through a long journey, and in India, in outside India, many places. So this is definitely one sort of homecoming to me, because I always like to go back to Asansol. So I have a lot of friends there, Asansol, Durgapur, Raniganj, all these parts. When friends means they're very close friends of mine, very close means friends, nothing general friends, very close friends of mine. So today's session is that's why, because today's session is definitely a very important thing to me actually. So I've taken so many sessions with many colleges, many universities, many institutions in West Bengal, in outside West Bengal, outside India also. But it is definitely a special day today because I'm talking to the people, to the college which is now headed by my elder brother Palgunida, and which is now in the department where my elder brother is working. So definitely it is a very close, very close to my heart. That is the thing I can say. So today I will be talking about the ethical issues and challenges of international human resource management. And why I have picked up the topic, because the main thing is this. I sent 4 or 5 topics to Kajalda, which topic the BBA department wants to speak. By me. To be spoken by me. Now, a point is that he has chosen this topic. This is definitely a little bit academic topic, okay, but also definitely some kind of practitioner's orientation is there. Now, we all understand that before starting this presentation, sharing the slides as usual, I'll be telling you 1 or 2 few examples to set the tone of the presentation. We all know in 2013, I'm just telling an example from our neighborhood. Neighborhood is this, India's neighborhood is Bangladesh. Bengal's neighborhood is Bangladesh. Now in 2013, I think in the month of May, there is a place in Dhaka, near Dhaka, there's a big accident happened. You can search on internet. That accident happened. That is actually called the Rana Plaza, infamous Rana Plaza accident. Now, what is Rana Plaza? Rana Plaza is not a shopping mall. Plaza means we understand shopping mall, this kind of thing, but it's not a shopping mall. Now, Rana Plaza is actually, this was one of the largest garment factories of Bangladesh, because you all know that Bangladesh is one of the largest exporters of ready-made garments to the world. And all the world's leading brands like Walmart, like HRM, like Zara, all they actually source from Bangladesh nowadays. Because I stay in UAE, all world renowned brands, their retail stores are here in UAE. UAE is the country of shopping malls and all these things. You all know that. And I see almost 60% of the retail garments are sourced from Bangladesh under that big international brands. Okay. Now, this is not only in UAE, it is also a very common phenomena. If you go to UK, if you go to US, I have not been to US, but I have been to UK. But I have seen that also in London also, if you go to the Zara store or go to the H&M store or go to the Walmart. Walmart is not that popular in UK, Tesco is there. Even Tesco also, if you will find a lot of garments actually are being sourced, ready-made garments. Mainly the male ready-made garments and all these things are sourced from Bangladesh. It is written there clearly, made in Bangladesh, something like that. And why? Because the main reason is this: the price factor is very important factor in today's business. Now, whatever is sourced from Bangladesh, it is very cheap actually. You know, the Bangladeshi currency and all the cost of labor and all those things are very cheap. And the thing is this: when this thing they source and they put the brand tag, and quality of the product which is manufactured in Bangladesh is also a very good quality, very high standard. Okay. Now, what I'm telling here now. Here comes the point. Like, see, because most of the leading international brands and the companies, they were completely, I should say, most of the companies, most of the leading brands, they did not bother about all these things, mainly in the garment industry. Now, when this accident happened in 2013, I think the month of May, 19th of May or something like that, in the fine morning, we found the news in the newspaper also, that came in the newspaper in India also, that almost 1,200 workers, 1,200 workers in Bangladesh, that Rana Plaza, that complex, okay, there are approximately 4,000 workers, and most of them are women workers, ladies, okay, and they're from very poor or marginalized class of society. They used to work there, and even the per day revenue, what they used to earn there is less than $1, less than $1, okay, which is unthinkable, less than $1 at the point of time. Now, what is the point I am talking about here? Now, that Rana Plaza actually collapsed, the building was collapsed, and the fire broke out. And out of almost 5,000 or 6,000 workers at that point of time in the factory, approximately 3,500 ladies, women workers are working there, manufacturing that floor. But what I'm telling you, out of that, more than 1,000, 1,200 approximately were died. Okay, and later approximately another 300 or 400 also died in the hospital. So when it happened, for the first time, it came into the limelight in the world that say something is very serious is happening in the different parts of the world, mainly in the developing countries. Yes, in the developed countries also, there are a lot of instances. I will be sharing those things with you here in the presentation today. Now, this is such a huge accident. What is my point here? So accidents happened, 1,200 people died, and say most of them were the single earning member in their families, because you know, in the gender participation index, and the global index, Bangladesh ranks very high, because Bangladeshi workforce has a very high number of women participation, basically in this kind of sectors. Okay. Now, what I am telling you here, so these things were happened, and within 3 months or 4 months, some human cry were actually there. There are some issues in ILO, in Geneva, some discussions happened in the lofty forums, and discussions, debates happened, and everything is fine. Okay, but within 3 months or 4 months, everything settled. Okay, and now entire world is not bothering again. Now, some people from some of the social groups, social pressure groups, mainly based in US, or mainly based in UK, or mainly based in Germany, they keep on raising the issues. Even Bangladeshi government did not allow the external people, the people from the stakeholders, people from this kind of pressure groups to enter into Bangladesh, did not issue the visa actually. Now, why? Because if the international pressure groups, they raise the issue in the global platform, and it started publishing in the New York Times, or Tribune, or Telegraph, or this kind of Guardian, this kind of newspaper abroad, so definitely this will cause the reputation, affect the reputation of the Bangladeshi garment industry. Now, after this kind of immense pressure came from the different non-governmental organizations, and after that, some of the European Union countries, even the European Union later actually took up the issue, that they said that why the international firms, the multinational brands, they're completely silent on this, who are actually sourcing, who actually used to source their garments from this Rana Plaza factory complex. Why they're silent? Who are the companies who used to source the garments, ready-made garments from the Rana Plaza? Now I'm telling two major players. You know all these names. One is the Walmart. Okay, and other is the H&M. H&M you all know. The H&M is that name is that Hens and Morris. Hens and Morris is one of the largest chain, retail chain, the garment retail chain in the world actually. Now Walmart is American, and Hens and Morris is basically a British company. Okay, based in headquartered in London. Now what I'm telling you, see, these are the two companies. They used to source almost more than 90% of the garments from the Rana Plaza factory. So they were silent. They did not say anything. Now, when I'm talking this issue, another dimension, another perspective came here. That is the international supply chain. And a lot of studies have been conducted in recent times about the international supply chain, and how in the context of that, the human resource practices and ethical practices have become so much important. At the later time, after 2013, there are many other issues came up, and now it is taken it very seriously in the global forum. Okay, now it is not another part of the strategy, the global corporate strategy, the strategic reports, and all those things. I'll be sharing some of the reports and information about that. Now, what I'm telling you here, it is very important to understand at the cost of the profit, because why these companies were not were completely silent, H&M and Walmart. Because when the Southeast Asia sourcing head of the Walmart and the H&M were actually interviewed, first of all, H&M Southeast Asia sourcing head, he was completely reluctant to speak on that. He did not want to speak on that. Why? What is the reaction and all those things? Now, Walmart, they spoke up because Walmart, they had the office in Southeast Asia, head office they had in Bombay, okay, in India. Now, that the person his name is Rajat Ratnagar, that point of time, he's a person. So he spoke up that our top management from the US, they have told us not to speak against any kind of accidents, because any kind of statement will come from the US only. We are not allowed to speak. Fine, absolutely great. The company policy, you cannot say anything. But when after even 3 months, 4 months, I told the companies were completely silent, nothing was told. Then somebody told in the US, that asked in the US, why your company is not saying anything, because you are the biggest influencer who can force the places like the owners of the Rana Plaza or that kind of the garment manufacturing factories, or small or medium or big factories in Bangladesh or any other places from where you are sourcing. Okay, not to comply certain minimum labor standards. Now, minimum labor standards means what I am telling you, because out of 1,200 people, almost they died. No compensation was given initially. Not a single penny was given. Now, when the Bangladesh government, after this incident became internationalized, they started the investigation. And I don't know, I can't remember at that point of time who was the Prime Minister in Bangladesh, because that was a sensitive issue in Bangladesh. There were clearly the country was divided into part. One is against this kind of say practices by the investors in Bangladesh. Another side is the other one, that is who say no, something must be done to protect the interest of the workers and the employees. So what actually happened when the government started and set up the parliamentary investigation committee and conducted a detailed study, not only on the Rana Plaza, but also in the across all the garment factories in Bangladesh and Chittagong and other places, Dhaka and Chittagong and all these places. Now it came into a knowledge and it was published that, okay, approximately there is approximately 1.2 billion workers are working in the factory. Out of that, almost 80% does not have any kind of safety. They are paid on hourly basis. They're paid on per day basis, and their payment is much lower than the minimum standard minimum wage which is to be given to them. There is no standard HR practices and the policies. There is no training given to them. There is nothing. I mean, nothing was there absolutely, but it was earning of the Bangladesh garment factory, garment industries. Contributing to the hugely to the GDP of that country. So something must be done. And the Bangladesh Garment Factory Owners Association, they were so, I mean, I'm telling, they're so influential at the government level, the policy making level, in Bangladesh itself. Okay, so nobody bothered to speak against them. So this is one example I'm telling you. So after many years, and I mean almost 2.5 years, 3 years, then European Union, EU took up the issue and they pressurized Walmart and H&M to look into the matter. And then H&M and Walmart came into certain policies that from wherever they will source any kind of product like the garments or any other thing. Okay, now they will be asking the place from where they're sourcing, that particular places will be asked to provide certain assurance of the certificates or the that kind of thing, that okay, no malpractices are being done, minimum wages are being paid, something like that. Okay, now that is the different issue, but the point is that this was a major problem in this case. This is one aspect. Why I told this particular story, particular event, incident, so that you can understand the seriousness of the problem actually. Okay, I'm not talking about very, because HR people are always being accused of speaking the lofty ideas and ideological thing, which is might not be possible every time. It is, yeah, even in the organized sector, in the public sector, also in India, also you see there are a lot of things happen. Now, what I'm telling you here, before, and then I am coming to the other side before sharing the slide. Now, this is one example I'm giving. Now, the other example I'm giving, the employment discrimination. Discrimination is a major ethical issue in the international human resource management. Most of the organizations, most of the global organizations, okay, and they have their clear-cut policies, okay, regarding anti-discrimination. Nobody will be discriminated on the ground of gender, or you can say their background, color, ethnic origin, or language, or religion. Nothing. I mean, it has been clearly written there. But it is a rampant practice in many parts of the world, even in the developed world. I'll be coming with some statistics today itself. You can see from there, and the very recent statistics. Then talking about, say, other parts of the international human resource management, how to counter these unethical practices, that's very important to understand, because some of the countries, some of the governments, some of the organizations have taken proactive measures to protect the interest of the employees by making their human resource management policy is much progressive. Okay, because you cannot go against the corporate, because corporate is most powerful in today's context in the world, because even we can measure the power of a country, of a nation, not only by how many missiles or how many aircraft carriers you have. No, that is definitely one aspect. But we understand how powerful economically that country is. That's very important. So here the corporates play a very important role. Like, say, why US, why Japan, even today's China, and many other countries, European Union countries, why they're so much respected? Because of their economic might. Okay, even India is fast emerging as an economically powerful nation, and I think definitely by another 20-30 years it will be one of the developed nations. I sincerely pray for that. Now, what I'm telling you that thing, so here in this case, so we have to understand the entire thing from that perspective. I'll try to make my presentation more, say, discussion, more, say, example oriented rather than theoretical, because theoretical presentation you can learn from your teachers in the class also. So now, fine. Now, where is the origin? Where is the origin of this kind of ethical practices and all these things? Now, first of all, we all know about one practice, one theory, is called the stakeholder theory in management. I think many of you will come to know, because BBA students will learn later also, maybe stakeholder theory of management in the MBA it is being taught. Now, what is stakeholder theory of management, and how it is different from the traditional concept of management practices? Now, when you talk about the stakeholder theory of management, for the first time, actually stakeholder theory of management started becoming popular since 1980s. It is not a very old practice, not a very old concept, maybe recent one. It is a recent one actually. Now, in 1980s, for the first time, it was realized in the West, mainly in the West, because most of the management concepts, the modern management concepts, came from the West. Okay. Now, what I am telling you here, till this stakeholder theory came into forefront, the stakeholder concept came into forefront, and organization success was only measured by the profitability. Profitability means how much profit the company is earning, how much revenue it is earning, something like that. Now, what we say, only the profitability or this kind of earning and that kind of the organization started understanding under different circumstances and situations. I'll be sharing that thing also. What are the factors which affected the entire thing? And now, so the point is that they realized, okay, profitability is definitely the bottom line. That must be there in the business. Otherwise, how the business will survive and grow? Now, the point is that here in this case, in this particular context, not only the profit, but also there, because every organization, the commercial organization, is a social entity. Okay, if you take any public sector or private sector or any kind of establishments of the organizations, every organization is a social entity. They have to work within the society and for the society. If I am telling you, maybe your marketing professor teach you in the class, that's a same thing that one example, when I am talking about, say, Colgate. You know, Colgate is a company which makes the toothpaste and other products. Colgate toothpaste is actually globally known. Everybody knows that. Now, Colgate is making the toothpaste for the people. But when we say from the broader perspective, Colgate is contributing to the dental health. That is their engagement with the society, with the community. We cannot deny that. Okay, definitely maybe charging some money for the price, because definitely that is the essential thing for their survival. Otherwise, how they will come out with this? And other factors are there. In the market factors are there. Within the marketing market factors, there are macroeconomic factors are there. Everything is there, definitely. But only earning profit should not be their priority like that. No company, no forward-looking company, no reputed company can only think on that. I am telling you, there is a reputation index. Okay, reputation index comes out in the world every time. From India, there are a few companies in that particular list, like Tata is there, like Infosys is there, and some other companies are there who are globally reputed companies. Reputation is very important for the companies in present time, rather than only selling and selling and selling and selling, something like that. Okay. Now, how the reputation is earned? Because these companies follow the stakeholder approach in their businesses. Now, what we say about the stakeholder approach in the businesses, this particular concept was actually came in the proper formal way, that is in 1984. The name of the author is, there's a book came out. There's a very, one of the landmark books in management. Management has a lot of landmark books. Anybody wants to study, make their career in management, some of the landmark books must be read. One book is that, see, the strategic management, a stakeholder approach. The book is written by R. Edward Freeman. Now, R. Edward Freeman was actually one of the Harvard scholar. Okay. Now, he developed this approach, and which was clearly a different approach from the traditional approach. He identified the internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. You all know these things. You studied in business environment. It's a very normal thing. Now, but it was for the first time, Edward Freeman, he came with the idea that an organization has to comply with all the guidelines and the requirements to satisfy the interest of the internal and the external stakeholders, not only the shareholders' interest. Definitely, that's very important. But apart from shareholders' interest, they have to comply. They have to take care of the interest of the, say, their employees, their management, their board of directors. Externally, they can talk about the government, regulators, community, consumers, everybody. So this is the main thing here. Now why I'm telling this thing, see, when I am talking about for the first time the internal stakeholders, the one of the most important, I should say, to me, because I'm a HR person, to me always the most important internal stakeholder is the employee. Okay, because it has been proved repeatedly many times, if you treat your employees well, if you have the proper HR policy, definitely it makes the differences. Even in the international HR, this is one of the biggest push factor to become a global player, a global competitive player, a global winner, I should say. Okay. Now this is the overall thing basically. Now, when I'm talking about why I have picked up the concept of the international HRM, what we understand by international HRM? International HRM is something where, an organization, nowadays we are, maybe the BBA department, they do not teach these things, but we all know ethnocentric, geocentric, polycentric, all the different approaches in management, and different models are there, and different Hofstede dimension, globe theory, lot of things are there in international HRM practices, cultural practice, and this and that, something like that. I'm not going to that part. Now, what I'm telling you here, presently the recent World Economic Forum report has been published. It has been shown that in recent times, for last 10 years, approximate the total number of international companies has increased 427% for last 10 years, 427%. Okay, the largest jump in the number of the human business history. 427% rise in the number of the international business companies in only the last 10-11 years. Okay, the report came last year in 2019. It has been shown why so many companies have become the international players. Now, international players means that whatever way you expand your business beyond your home country. Maybe you want to sell your product abroad, or you want to set up a branch office, or you want to find out some franchisee or licensee abroad, or you want to export something abroad, or you want to go for, collaboration, tie-up, whatever method you choose. But when at minimum 20 to 25% of your annual revenue comes from abroad, outside your home country, your company becomes an international company. And now in the today's technology era, a lot of startups are coming, and definitely the more and more companies will become the, even a company run from a small house, small apartment, okay, that can become international company easily. Okay, and new frontiers of business are coming up, opening up every day, every day. Okay, so we can understand how you have to approach the entire problem. That's why this was the background and entire thing I'm telling you. Now, when I am now I'm going to share some of the slides. I'll not speak up on all the slides because that might not be interesting for you. Just give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I think it is visible now. So some of the, because already some background and everything I have told. Yeah. Now when I'm talking about, already I have talked about Edward Freeman's book. That is one of the important criteria. That actually was one of the founding contribution to the discipline of the ethics, actually. Okay, business ethics. Now, what I am telling you, the corporate ethics, how it actually came. I mean, there are certain, and quickly I'll go through it. Now, when I talk about the brief background, so there are basically, we identified basically 3 areas of input in the corporate ethics. One is the academic and the professional consolidation of the concept of the corporate ethics. Definitely one example I have given, 1984, Edward Freeman's book. Okay. And the other one I am telling you here, the second one is that emergence of corporate ethics as the center of business functioning. So I'll be giving few examples here. Then I am talking about the religious and the philosophical origin of the corporate ethics also. Quickly, I'll try to say something. Now, when I'm talking about the professional consolidation, see what we understand by the academic and the professional consolidation. Now, after in 1984, this book came into existence. Okay, just look at this. The concept of the practice of the corporate ethics actually we can originated from the West, in the Western countries. Practice. I'm talking about practice and the professional as well as academic consolidation. Now you can go through that thing that was say by 1980s, approximately 500 courses on business ethics were actually studied by the approximately 40,000 students in the West. Okay, there are some textbooks and all these things I've taken from, given the sources here. Then in 1984, first single authored books in the field of that particular thing were appeared, but it was more consolidated in the year 1984 by this Edward Freeman. Now, say in 2017, as per this particular source, this Sam Robinson study, in 2017, there were actually 2,921 independent courses were taught in European Union and the USA, on which at the duration of the more than 3 months, and it was studied by many people from across Asia and Europe. Online platforms are available, so you can understand. So it is actually a very well accepted course area, discipline. It is becoming more and more aware. You can go to the website, which are the organizations in different continents, in different countries, even in India also. There are many bodies who are working on the corporate ethics dimensions, because every country has their own challenges. You understand that. So now what I'm talking about, say other things like, say, apart from the professional one, say the corporate ethics one, that will come. Now, corporate ethics practice oriented thing is that, see, in 1990 to 2010, just look at the number of the scandals, corporate scandals. It is 2,216 corporate scandals came up in the media report, involving 19.7 trillion US dollar across the globe. So you can understand the number. Last point, bullet point I'm showing here. 1990 to 2010, the total number of 216 corporate scandals were reported. Okay, involving 19.7 trillion US dollar, trillion, huge amount. Okay, now say definitely. So it was the call to wake up. And the religious one, actually, I'm taking it is from a Tamil book, because you know Tamil language is one of the oldest languages in the world. So the 300 BC to 7 of the AD, whatever actually you see, there are some books in the some kind of concepts of the, not exactly corporate ethics, word was not there definitely in the Tamil books, but some kind of business and the corporate practices. It is actually called Tirukkural. Tirukkural is one of the very popular book on the ethics, which published long back. and they talked about how a businessman should run a business for the welfare of the business of the organization and also for the society. I think anybody is raising the hand. I don't know why. Let me check what is the. You can ask the question also, no issue. Okay, at the end also, let me finish it first quickly. Now, so there are a lot of things here I'm showing you. You can find out, say, US Stock Exchange report. UK Stock Exchange report is there. I have talked about how on different aspects of sustainability and the corporate ethics companies, different countries are doing. Okay, now let me quickly go to the HR part, international HR part. Now, when we talk about the international HRM and mainly the HRM and the corporate ethics, the conceptual area, the area or where most of the ethical challenges are coming up. Now, what you can see, I have just made this thing bold, like the issues of discrimination, working condition, health and safety, okay, harassment, payment means minimum payment, minimum wage, whatever like that, child labor, forced labor, whistleblowing, freedom of association, and collective bargaining. These are the major areas where we have found most of the incidents happened, most of the violation happens, most of the cases happens, okay, across the globe in the international organizations. I will come up with some examples. You will be able to understand the international examples. Now, when I talk about, say, some of the practices, now just go through it. Like, say, I have mentioned the big names here. Now, how actually some of the companies have taken proactive measures by themselves to protect the employees globally, internationally. These are the part of that corporate strategy. Now, this is a very welcoming development in the international HRM that most of the organizations, many of the organizations, I should not say most, many of the leading organizations, they are coming up with their own framework, they're coming up with their own practices and the challenges. So look at this Shell CSR report 2001 and Suzuki, that in our country Maruti Suzuki, but other countries Suzuki, the Japanese multinational, you know. Now Suzuki CSR report 2015. This is the global report of Suzuki, the global report of Shell. Shell is a petroleum company, you all know that. Okay, now what they have said in their report, what exactly they have done to ensure the employee rights, health and safety, to ensure the diversity, working hours and wages, these have been mentioned. What I mean, concrete steps they have taken. Now you can understand, look at this, and it has been found from the Shell's report or the Suzuki's report, each and every year they have added approximately 10 to 15 new measures to ensure the employee rights, health and safety, diversity, working hours and wages since 2000, each and every year. Now, they put all these things in their annual report also, and also because Shell and Suzuki are also among the world's most reputed brands. You understand that thing. But both of them from two different parts of the world. Shell is a British one, Suzuki is a Japanese one. You understand that. Now, what I'm telling you here, so next one is that, see the Gap, the organization like Gap. Gap is an American company. Gap employs more than 80 people around the globe, because these people have been given the stature of the director, okay, quality control director or the human resource director, this kind of posts they have created across the globe, and whose sole responsibility is to ensure in that factories comply with the ethical sourcing. You know, Gap actually what they do, these employees travel across the globe from the places, like say one example I've just given in the beginning, that is the Rana Plaza example of Bangladesh. Okay, that this is like Rana Plaza is a place from where this company source. Like this particular case is Gap actually also travels, this 80 people travels across the globe to the places, to the companies from where Gap actually source the product. Okay, that is whether these companies actually, companies in the developing countries, mainly in the India, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in Philippines, in China, in Vietnam, many of the South Asian islands, you understand, okay, in Latin American countries, if you go there, in Brazil, in South Africa, in African continent, like that. Okay, whether these particular factories from where they source their products, whether these factories are complying with the minimum requirements, beyond the requirement of the particular government in that, like in India. Take like a simple example. In India, we have the Minimum Wages Act, Payment of Wages Act, everything we have in place. But still, whether the factories from where the multinational companies source their employees, workers are paid the minimum wage. Okay, it is a very unfortunate thing, not only in India, in many parts of the world, even in China also, in large number. Okay, the many of the workers paid less than the minimum wage as written in the law book. So these kind of things actually taken care by these factory inspectors. They travel at they actually are being posted at the director level, very high level. Okay, now talking about the Nike. Now, Nike was actually were involved in some kind of scandals, because Nike used to source most of its product from abroad. Now, Nike, the one factory in Thailand, okay, was actually found employing the child labor. Okay, from where the Nike used to source the shoes, Nike shoes. It happened in the 2000, I think 10, that point of time. It became a very major issue, and Nike is an American brand. You all know that, something like that. Now, after that, Nike actually, it's a wake-up call for Nike, and Nike actually also quadrupled the number of the employees dealing with the labor practices in the places where the Nike shoes are being manufactured across the globe. This report actually was published in 2002, but unfortunately, after that, also 2010, that incident happened. Okay, then Nike actually revamped its board of directors. It became a major issue. The stock price of Nike fell in the West, and a lot of things happened. Nike was served some kind of notice, and so in the ILO meeting, Nike was rebuked. Something happened like that. Now, talking about the other two major brands, like the McDonald's, okay, and Royal. Now, McDonald's and the Royal, like that, these are the companies. They also initiated some kind of practices to ensure the international, employment safety, the employees' rights, whatever is possible. Now, British Petroleum and Shell. British Petroleum, you all know from the name itself. Now, British Petroleum actually made certain concrete evidences. Okay. Now, what actually happened? They used to receive large number of complaints from the employees about some kind of practices in abroad, maybe in Colombia or in Nigeria, this part of the world where they have the operation. Because Nigeria is a country where a lot of petroleum reserves are there, and Colombia also is a country. And both the countries are actually, ill reputed for the labor violation. Now, British Petroleum could not antagonize the Colombian government or the Nigerian government. But the thing is this, because they were at the places where they have to get permission from the government itself to operate. But how the British Petroleum and the Shell, these are the companies, how they manage the entire show and overcome the problems and the challenges, because it is only your goodwill, because you have the millions of dollars in your pocket. So you have to not only money, but also you have to enforce some kind of policy mechanism and something like that, and also invest some amount of money from where you are sourcing the money, getting the money. So these are some of the major areas. So Adidas also, this is another case. Okay, now these are the most of the international brands. They have taken the proactive steps, but not everything is very so rosy. Now, CIPD study is telling, what is CIPD? Now, for your information, I am telling CIPD is basically, there are two major global bodies in HR. There are plenty of bodies that are working on the human resource management at the international level, but there are two global bodies, well accepted bodies in the HR field. Any international HR professional, they are either, say what I'm telling you, they have undergone some courses or the programs, either from these two bodies or they're the member of these two bodies. Like CIPD is the British body, that is the Chartered Institute of Personal Development. Now, this is same like the body which we see in India. We have the CA, ICWA, CS, all these qualifications are there. Those are the chartered bodies of the Indian Parliament. Same like that, CIPD in UK itself, CIPD is a very powerful body, which is a chartered body passed by the British Parliament long back. And CIPD is conducting a lot of studies for approximately 50-60 years. They come out with the report and they have the very huge investment in research. So what actually they have done? CIPD publishes detailed reports on different aspects of the management. Now, what I'm telling you here, the CIPD report, which actually I have told here, and CIPD is not it is a British organization, but still it has the presence and activities across the globe. Now, what I'm telling you here, the CIPD has identified 4 major areas. Another one is the SHRM. SHRM is the American body, the Society for Human Resource Management, but SHRM is more, say, corporate oriented. CIPD is corporate as well as the academic oriented, research oriented. So we always prefer to take the CIPD study report. Now, what I am telling you here, now see, in this case, I have taken few geographies here: USA, UK, European Union, Hong Kong, GCC, China, Japan, Korea, Australia, and South Africa. Now, these are the countries where a lot of multinational companies are originated, or lot of multinational companies, they are functioning from these countries, okay, or in these countries. Now, what actually is the reported cases? CIPD has conducted the detailed study, and they have found on the staffing related violation discrimination, benefit related discrimination, career related development discrimination, and the workers' right related discrimination. Now, what I am talking about when you're talking about the staffing related discrimination, any company, a multinational company or the international company, when it is working in the US or in the UK, or originated from the US and the UK and working abroad other than US and UK, or the countries which are based in European Union or working in the European Union, something like that. So you can go through the list and you can find out that since 2000 to 2013, what is the number of the reported cases, how this has increased phenomenally. Now, if you look at the US, the staffing related complaints actually increased in the multinational, international, so plus say 27% increase. So I'm not going to tell all the data. You can look at this. Okay. Now, benefit related data, discrimination and a violation of the minimum standards. In the US, it's such a developed country, it is 31%. The career related challenges was the major challenges, most powerful challenge, most dominant challenge in the US, because the people with the black skin color, or the Hispanics, or maybe from the Southeast Asian countries also, or many other parts of the world also, they complain in the US that they have been discriminated against because of their origin or their language or something like that. So the case was 85% increased in the US in the field of the career development and in the multinational companies. One of the, I am telling you the name of some of the companies like Walmart, like Amazon, all these are American companies. Even in the IT sector, like IBM, also faced this kind of hit from the employees, that the people complained against IBM that some of the people could not be promoted because of their origin as per their thought. Okay, maybe somebody has gone from Jordan, but when the IBM hired that particular person in Jordan, or maybe in other parts of the world in the IBM operation, or maybe in the US, okay, now the person actually were not given promotion or something like that, because the point is that mainly in that case, maybe they thought that it's because of that their skin color or something like that, or whatever the origin, something like that. Now, workers' rights. What is workers' rights? Workers' rights that say right to assemble, right to, in many countries, right to form the unions, or right for collective bargaining. These kind of things are there. So these kind of complaints also increased 66% in the US during that point of time. So if you go to the UK is a country which is very particular about protecting the rights of the employees, mainly in the areas of the discrimination. But still, UK is still considered mainly the UK based industries or the British companies are still considered one of the most racist source of organizations across the globe. Okay, they have the British snobness, what we say in the normal jargons. Now you can see also the workers' rights related issues in UK also increased 79% during that point of time. 79, it's a huge. Okay. Now European Union is very particular. So European Union comprises of many countries, definitely. So we cannot say there are some countries which are very developed countries. We say the mainland Europe, like say, take example, France, Germany, Luxembourg, and so this Spain, Italy, this kind of countries. But there are some other countries which have just added later to the European Union. Say, let's take the example of Czech Republic or Poland or this kind of countries, even Turkey. So these are the later added countries. Definitely they are facing more challenges in terms of the workforce discrimination and something like that. And what I am telling you here, because why? Because you see the European Union is such a developed geographical region, but 93% cases increased in terms of workers' rights and privileges. Because the number is higher. Because what I am thinking, my observation is that maybe in the mainland Europe the number is not that high, but maybe in the western, the added area of the Europe, they're still actually struggling to cope up with the other European standards, basically. Now Hong Kong 83%. Go for the GCC countries. GCC means the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. There are 7 countries like Saudi Arabia, like UAE, like Qatar, Bahrain, Oman. So these all 7 countries are there. Kuwait. Okay. Now what is the problem there? It is given there. Now, what I'm telling you, in China, most of the data were not available because it is, I mean, their government does not allow to say publish the data. Many of the, you all know that thing very well. Now, what actually CIPD collected only on one parameter, 61% increase in the workers' right related issues. Just one example I'm telling, just only during last 5 years, approximately 61 million people in China, 61 million people in China. This is the ILO's report, ILO information. 61 million people in China, they have lost their jobs without getting any compensation. 61 million. Okay, and that is one of the major concern, and they reported to the concerned government authorities because China has the largest number of free zones or the special economic zones, what we say in India. Okay, and in the free zones, I mean, hire and fire and all these things and many of the other things are very common actually. Okay, and China actually set up these one of the world's largest free zone is in Shanghai free zone. It's the largest actually in the world actually, I should say. Now what I am telling you, see, not only in Shanghai, many parts of China, large 61 million people, they lost their jobs without getting any single penny compensation. One fine morning you came to the company factory, and how it happened, maybe the factory has asked them to leave the jobs, factory has been sold to the other owner, whatever is the reason. Okay, so it is one of the major concern in China also. A country like China, which is widely known as the communist country, but still it is a major problem in that country. 61 million people. Now what I am telling you here actually say, and I see the 61 million and the 61%. I mean, so funny thing here. Now I just look at that. Now I have noted it all these points here in my diary, so to share with you. Now Japan situation is much better. You can look at the number, look at the Korea, still it's much better than if you compare with the other Western countries. Australia, it is higher. Okay, higher, but still much better. And South Africa, definitely it is, though it's a developing country, that still is. So you can understand in the international HRM, the discrimination and the problems and all these things are coming very, it's a common phenomenon. The macro picture I've tried to give you. Okay, now these are things. But in the particular CIPD report, I don't know whether they have included because I have not seen that thing, because CIPD, many of the CIPD reports can be freely downloadable. You can download, go to the CIPD website and you can download from there. Okay, like a lot of report you can download from the ILO website, lot of reports, because if you want to do a study on HR or the industrial relations or the employee relations, you can download lot of genuine reports from the ILO without, I mean, any paying a single penny. So it's very, I mean, very interesting to have all those sources. Okay, now what are the major issues which actually have influenced ethical practices? If you talk about the evolution, I will not go to the other part, but I'll tell from 1900 to 2000 and 2000 till present time, because previous points no need to mention all those things. But what I am telling you, see, from 1900 to 2000 and 2000 to 2000 recent time, so completely the entire situation changed to different dimensions. Now, what I am telling you here, see, in 1900 to 2000, the more orientation was actually consolidation of the labor force across the globe because of the changes in the socio-political situation across the globe, like Russian Revolution in 1917, and Communist Revolution in 1949, the spread of socialism in Asia, Europe, and and South America. The point is that here, then there was no dominance of the say the investor or the capitalism, something like that. But I'm not telling that everything was very fine and very good at that point of time and everything started becoming bad or deteriorating after that. No, you cannot say like this. Okay, now in 2000 to recent time, the most important factor which actually have made these corporates all powerful, because see, most of the economies have opened up. I'm not talking against the globalization, anything like that. Yes, but in many countries, they are competing with each other to attract the investments, even in the developed countries. If I am talking about the countries like in underdeveloped or developing countries, that's a point, fine. Okay, we are getting more investment, so we have to make our labor laws and other things and practices and the policies more relaxable. But still, In the developed countries, it also happened. I'm sharing with some of the examples quick now. I mean, with the countries like Sweden, Australia, they're developed countries, but still how they have compromised with the basic practices and all these things. Now, if I look at that, say here in this case, already I've talked about this thing, no point of mentioning this. Yeah, see, these are the examples where even in the developed countries, their government, their regulatory bodies also compromised with the human rights aspect or the human ethics aspect or the business ethics aspect pertaining to the international HRM, okay, in their countries. The example I've given, the say Norwegian governments compromise with the Volkswagen. So Volkswagen is a big company, and Norway also a big company. You understand that? Okay, big country. Powerful. Norway is a very powerful economy. You all know that thing. There's a very small population in Norway. It's a Scandinavian country, very cold country, but still, Norway also compromised with the Volkswagen and allowed Volkswagen take some advantages by giving them some relaxation in terms of the labor law. And what I am telling you, Volkswagen is a company, we should say that Volkswagen is the right pronunciation. Now, in the Volkswagen company, what they have done actually, they have allowed Volkswagen to hire more peripheral employees than the allowable, the permissible limit in Norway. So what is the peripheral workforces? Peripheral workforces means temporary. We can talk about contractual, this kind of workforces. They're called peripheral workforces. And when the peripheral workforces are allowed, definitely the cost of operations comes down. To make the Volkswagen operations in Norway, Norwegian government, to attract the Volkswagen investment in Norway, the Norwegian government has allowed the Volkswagen to take that particular relaxation, because as per the Norwegian labor law, 80% of any factory which is having some kind of the business turnover yearly should have the regular workforce, and only 20% is allowed. The Volkswagen plant in Norway is actually the point is that say there what they have found, almost say more than 50% employees of Volkswagen in Norway are actually the peripheral employees. Now, what I'm talking about, Toyota in Australia, it became a big case study in business management, Toyota in Australia. Now, Toyota suddenly decided to close their plants in Australia a few years back, and it caused much furor in Australia, because Toyota wanted to pay very less amount of compensation in Australian plant, and overnight they fired 400 employees working in the Australian plant. Then Australian government intervened, and ultimately a lot of negotiation happened, and something happened at the end, and Toyota was forced to pay some compensation. But the thing is this, government also relaxed their regulations. Now Toyota has taken Toyota is the world's largest automobile manufacturing company. You all know that. Now see, this is called the down regulation or deregulation. Okay, now what I am telling you here, see, as per the industrial relations system, the latest report published by the ILO, approximately 98 areas of the employment practices and the HR practices, the laws have been down regulated or the re-regulated or deregulated, you can say, as per the ILO report. Now, Nike fiasco already I have told, Rana Plaza already I have told, I'm not sharing those things again. Okay, so you can understand this is the way the entire situation is happening. Now, if you ask me anything, sir, how the entire thing can be managed, definitely there are good companies that are doing quite well by making the fine balance between the company's own policy and their business interest, but they are trying to, the multinational companies, okay. Then so a lot of things can be done. Government can play some role, definitely role, because nowadays the government's hands are tied up across the globe, because the multinationals are all powerful. You all know that thing. Even in the case of the international call centers in the BPO operations in the developing countries like India, like Philippines, these are some of the very powerful, very places, because we require the employment of the people also. But that does not mean that the government should compromise with or the company should be allowed to compromise with the minimum ethical practices in terms of international HRM. All the companies, I'm telling you one example, say in UK, if you apply for a job in UK, because say workforce discrimination and diversity is a major issue in the UK, it was earlier. Now they have tried to make it down, less problem. So if you apply for a job in the UK, once your CV is shortlisted, or now they will provide you the diversity form. There you have to fill up all your details, and the company will definitely, it's protected by the Privacy Act. That will not be disclosed to anybody. But when you upload, when you share all your information about your skin color, about your origin and everything, whatever, whether you have been, so every type of your personal information you are going, okay, your sexual orientation, where you are the straight or the homosexual or something like that, everything you have to share there. Now, what I'm telling you, their language, your origin, your gender, I mean, your religion, everything you have to give, your mother tongue, everything. Now, what it is given, why it is given. So this is fully protected by the companies in the UK, and they have to share all this information to the UK government. And UK government yearly publishes a diversity report. And this was started in the year 1992. Because earlier it was actually a voluntary. From 1992 onwards, it has become compulsory for all the companies, organizations, wherever you're hiring, they're hiring. Now, based on that, UK has tried to improve the international standing in the international HRM practices, and that is quite, I mean, definitely not all the problems have been sorted out, but still I'm telling the situation is much improving there. So it is also, this kind of thing can be done. Mainly if so when I'm talking about the international HRM, we are talking mainly about the regular sector. Okay, I am not talking about the informal sector, because informal sector, the challenges are different. In informal sector, definitely there are the challenges of the minimum wage, the working hour, the job security, those are definitely there. Okay, but if you talk about the formal sector, where the challenges are also different, but the thing is this, it's fundamentally something different. And the formal sectors definitely must have some kind of say formal mechanism, the policy, the board level decisions which can be applied across the globe. Taking one example, diversity. How the company like Microsoft encourages diversity. Now, Microsoft, one example I'm giving, Microsoft has the operations in 38 countries across the globe. They have the operations, means they don't not only sell the products, they have the research centers, they have the software development centers, they have the business offices in so many countries across the globe, in all continents. Now, how the Microsoft encourages the diversity. Now, Microsoft has the diversity calendar. That is very, I mean, very encouraging. And in that calendar, there are 30 to 35 days holidays, the exact number I forget. Now, maybe somebody is a Muslim, requires 3 or 4 days holiday in the Eid festival. Somebody is a Hindu, requires 3 or 4 days holiday or 5 days holiday during the Diwali. But that Hindu does not require to take 3-day holidays for the Eid. Maybe 1 day is enough, fine, in that country or wherever the person is located, based on that local condition also. That matters. Okay. So, like maybe a Christian wants to get 7 days or 10 days holiday on the Christmas vacations. One example I'm giving. Likewise, you can choose your holidays from that flexible holiday calendar, diversity calendar. Microsoft has done this. Now, this is very common practices in many parts of the world. Many multinational companies, they are doing it. Okay, so this is a part of the Microsoft's, because that's why Microsoft is one of the most reputed brands in the world, not only for their innovation, not only for the other things, but also the way the people, they are treating the peoples. Okay, taking one example, Google. Now, Google actually has created a platform, ex-Googlers, you know that thing. Now, ex-Googlers are actually the people who left Google but love Google. Now, what actually happens is these people observe the way anything done by the Google, not only HR field, whatever Google is doing, whether it is good or bad, any policy making, any product innovation, any marketing strategy, whatever, any kind of fiasco happened regarding Google products or Google branding. So these people actually what they do, they're allowed to speak even when they left out company. Even within the Google also, there are 70 to 75 platforms where you can raise your voice. Okay. And raise your voice by showing or without showing your identity. Okay, if your voices are raised and addressed and it actually impacted the business of the company in a positive way, definitely you are awarded, you are rewarded. You are not victimized by many other, like done by many other companies in many parts of the world. So there are a lot of examples companies can do. Companies can introspect. Definitely, they are doing a lot of things, and this is one of the major area of concern in recent times. Because world is becoming more globalized, more international companies will be entering into the world in different parts of the world. Even not only, we should not understand this way that, okay, only the American companies are coming to India and then creating the fiasco here because they have been given so much. No, even an Indian company can go to South Africa. When an Indian company can go to West Africa, and Indian companies are doing business in Europe and Germany and Australia and Southeast Asia. So they can also do anything they want. Okay, because they're all powerful there. Indian multinationals are very powerful companies. Okay, financially and otherwise. So the point is that it is not about any particular country or the location. It is about how you can approach the problem, how from the top level the company should approach, how the entire thing can be managed by, definitely you have to talk about the bottom line, but at the same time, you have to talk about the entire development of the entire practices. So this is the way, the overall scenario of the entire picture. I'll be sharing this slide with Kajal Da. So Kajal Goswami sir, and anybody wants to take it, so take it from, they can take it from Mr. Kajal Goswami sir from the department. So this is the overall thing. Now I'll be happy to get any question from any student regarding my presentation or anything like that. So thank you so much. This is my small presentation of, I told him that I'll be finishing by 1 hour. So it's 1 hour, 10 minutes. So thank you so much. So any question anybody wants to ask me, I'll be happy to answer. Please, you can ask the question.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, this was a very enriching discussion, I would say, though I'm not basically from the HRM background, but I can understand like the impact of this thing extends beyond our academic institutes. It's more like industries. And so I definitely understand the people, the students from management should have some questions. So if any of you have any questions, please drop it in
Because
the
I found somebody was raising hand there. I could see that, but I don't understand why. What kind of question? Yeah, please, you can ask them questions.
If anyone has a question, please either raise your hand or drop it in the chat box, please. I think I'll let's allow them some time to actually think about it. I have a question for you, sir. I
Okay.
mean, like it's more like a standardization. I mean, like when we talk about HRM, I understand like different countries do have different policies because everybody wants to push the economy, and that comes from like giving away some incentive to the companies.
Yes,
So
yes, definitely,
that's
yes.
something we're happening now. I mean, like in
Yeah,
different states.
every country, yeah, they're doing, because they're all, I mean, competing to attract investments from the other countries and something like that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and so if can the states actually have different HRM rules? Because say like a government to government, state to state, they want to attract more people, so they can change the HRM rules and they can actually attract more companies, which is more like it becomes more conducive to the companies. So could
Okay.
there be
Yeah,
standardization?
I'm understood. Yes. So now I'm telling you, say, I think you talked about the state to state means two different countries you're talking about like this. Now, just there are some examples I'm giving. You can understand. If the companies, if the governments want, definitely they can do. Like, say, take example, like say now Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a sovereign fund. Now, sovereign fund, Saudi Arabia, you know, the oil price is falling and all these things are happening. So Saudi government, they're a very cash rich government, because they had so much huge oil and crude oil and they had to export something like that. Now, Saudi Arabia, they have the sovereign fund. If you go to the internet, you can find out. And the Saudi sovereign fund is the world's largest sovereign fund. And Saudi Arabia, though Saudi government is not so reputed for very welfare measures, so they employ something like that. No, all the countries, like Saudi Arabia's biggest receiver of the sovereign fund are two countries. One is, there are two opponent countries. One is Russia, one is the United States. But Russia is getting more sovereign fund in recent times from the Saudi Arabia. Now, when the Saudi Arabia, their largest oil company in the world is the Aramco, Saudi Aramco, you know that. Now, Saudi Aramco also invested a lot of money in India in the Reliance Petrochemicals. Now, Saudi Aramco is investing huge amount of money in exploring oil in Russia, because Russia has the world's largest or second largest oil reserve presently, but they're not exploring. Now what they're planning to open up the oil fields, and they're entering into collaboration with the Saudi Arabia, and definitely the Western countries are also coming to provide the technical expertise. Now, what I am telling you here, now here Saudi Arabia and Russian government of external trade and something like that, they have the Saudi Russia Financial Trade Commission, and they meet each and every year once or twice. Now they have made certain policies clearly that whatever money the Saudi Arabia will be investing in Russia, or whatever business in Russia, the Saudi Arabia companies, the Aramco will do in Saudi Russia, whatever. Now they will be following certain minimum policies. Minimum policies means because Russia wants to showcase it as an ideal project to the world. So by showing this kind of thing, so Saudi Aramco is investing, I think some billions and billions of dollars, like 7 or 8 billions of dollars recently have been invested, or maybe more they will be doing. Exact data I don't know presently what is the status. But Saudi Aramco, that is called the Minsk, M-I-N-S-K-E, Minsk Russian company. Minsk Saudi Aramco is one of the world's largest joint venture. Now Minsk is actually in the Siberia region. They have the huge oil and natural gas in Russia. Now Minsk, Aramco, they had started businesses there, and it is something, I mean, and in that particular case, the stake of the Saudi Aramco is 69%, and remaining is in the Minsk, because Saudi Arabia is providing money to them. Definitely they will be having the higher stake in that business. Now what is I'm telling you here, there they have certain clear mechanism, there are certain clear policy guidelines, what they have to follow in terms of human resource management practices, safety, employment discrimination, and other things. Now protecting the employee rights and other things. Yes, definitely they have not allowed any kind of collective bargaining or that kind of thing. I don't know what is they have included not or not. So that if the companies want, they can do. Toyota one, I was telling you right recently, the last one, the Toyota in Australia. Toyota in Australia, if the government wants, definitely they can do it, because say here it was between Toyota and Australian government. Okay, in Queensland, Toyota has a plant where they used to produce large number of cars, and they have almost 420 or 430 workers. Okay, and they're all Australians. And apart from that, Toyota has almost 58 to 60 large dealers or distributors in across Australia. Now, Toyota suddenly decided to close the plant in Australia in, I think, 2018 or 17 due to some kind of fall in demand and something. They tried to revive it, but could not revive, whatever. Now, they decided to close the plant, and suddenly overnight, they asked all the 420 or 25 employees to leave the jobs. And they, whatever was written in the contract with the employees, that this amount of compensation will be given at the time of the separation, the Toyota said, no, we don't have the money, we cannot pay you. And the same thing was the problem also raised by the dealers, distributors, because they were dependent on the exclusive dealers of Toyota. They said, okay, now on an average, we have 5, 6, 7, 10 employees at our distribution ship or dealership. So if you close down the plant, so what will happen with our business and our employees? So it was a major issue in Australia, and ultimately the Australian government tried to influence Toyota. Even Australia is a powerful country economically, at least, and Toyota even did not bother them. Toyota suddenly closed the office and they planned to leave. But what happened? Then Australian government talked to Japanese government, because it was under the Australia-Japan international business agreements. And so Japanese government asked Toyota to clear all the dues. Otherwise, Australian government said, okay, we'll sue Toyota in the court. So a lot of things happened. Ultimately, Toyota was actually put in the place, and they cleared all the dues, and ultimately they were given the closure certificate from the Australia, because Toyota had the plan in the mind that, okay, they can come back to Australia in future also. Okay, because Australia is a big, powerful economy. Everybody knows that thing for any other reason. So this is the way the companies can do, but not putting the pressure on the company every time might not be the reliable or the suitable solution every time, because it can be case to case oriented. But see, the problem is much huge. Say, take example, say the KPOs in India or the BPOs in India mainly. Okay, there are all many, say Cognizant is a foreign company. Cognizant has a BPO in India. Okay, like say GE Money earlier, now that has been taken over by Genpact. So GE Money was an American company. They had the call centers in Gurgaon and Bangalore and Pune. I think also in Hyderabad. Now they also did a lot of things which which they cannot do in America. Okay, so but they are doing it in India. So ultimately Genpact purchased that company, and ultimately many of the problems were solved. So thing is this, actually companies should be having, like I was telling you in the beginning, many of the countries have already made it mandatory for the international investors, even they are in trying to invest through the special economic zone or the free zone, whatever I'm telling. Okay, even in that case, they have to ensure certain minimum rights will be ensured for the employees. Okay, not every time I'm talking about the allowing them to make the form the unions, everything like that. So take example in UAE. Okay, in none of the Gulf countries, trade union formation is allowed. No country. It is completely illegal. Okay, but many of the foreign companies working in these countries, because Middle East, mainly in Dubai, I mean, I'm staying in Ras Al Khaimah, it is very close to Dubai, 100 kilometers by road, only 40 minutes by car. So Dubai is a hub of multinational companies. I mean, all Fortune 500 companies have offices and operations in Dubai. Take example, hospitality sector, hotels. All the big hotel chains have the offices and the projects in Dubai. All, I mean, in small country, almost say approximately more than 3,000, 4,000 five-star hotels are there. In the place where I'm staying also. The point is that they are not discriminating. They are not allowed to discriminate here, because when they're coming here, it is clearly there's some charter of HR practices or the labor practices or the employment practices. Maybe HR practice what they're not using in the government charter. Because I'm staying in Ras Al Khaimah, it is a full emirate is actually a free zone. You can understand. Now anybody can come and set up the business, but they have to sign some compliance agreement. Okay, we'll follow this kind of things. So it can be done. It can be done. And the companies, organizations can be, so because talking about the Volkswagen is the largest plant in India, world's largest plant, that is in Pune, world's largest plant in India. Okay, and that in that particular plant, it came into India, but there's no complaint against Volkswagen in Pune, because they are following all the standards and everything actually. Pune is the automobile hub, the Bajaj is there, Volkswagen is there. Earlier, Kirloskar Toyota was there. Now Toyota has left, Toyota has gone to Chennai. Okay. So these are there. Now, what I'm telling you there. So in this case, companies can do if they want their top level corporate policy, top level corporate vision. That's very important. No company wants any bad reputation happened in, say, example, Walmart, Amazon, okay, in even Nike. All these companies, they have faced so much international slap on their faces because they have not taken care of their employees or the supply chain providers, supply chain partners, something like that. It can be done, definitely can be done.
Thank you so much, sir. That's quite a detailed and comprehensive answer, I'd say. I had one question from someone, but apparently he dropped out this moment. So anyone else has any question, then we can actually we can discuss now.
Yeah, I have a question to
Yes,
Dr. Indranil Bose. Sir, we have got a detailed information about the international HRM and the different standards of corporate ethics. But how far you give the Indian companies, that means the Indian companies compared to the international other companies, how they are performing in case of corporate ethics? That means the Indian companies are good in corporate ethics matter compared to the international, or it's so average?
Okay, ranking wise, I cannot say anything, because, but the thing is this, a lot of Indian companies are, because one point I said that reputation index wise, corporate reputation index wise, global index that is published each and every year from Geneva, and that is a very stringent. So so number of the Indian companies are increasing in the global reputation corporate. I'm not telling that every company is in the part of very high rankings. So took example, I think 2 years back, say Infosys ranked globally fourth most reputed company. Fourth, I mean, globally fourth, you can understand, so high. Okay, it was a very proud moment for Infosys. Yes, I'm not talking about Infosys. Infosys, everybody knows. But talking about, say, now most of the Indian companies, they are trying to become international outside India. Definitely in India also they're competing, but outside India, many of the companies, like take example, Tata. Now, Tata is the single largest private sector employer in the United Kingdom, UK. Okay, Tata is employing, you can understand, approximately 83,000 employees in different Tata companies in UK. So you can understand. So, and Tata is widely respected company in UK, because there's not a single complaint against Tata since it entered the United Kingdom and started doing business. Now other companies, I'm coming now, other companies like say many of the Indian companies, they are based in India, but they sell their products abroad, like Bajaj. Like Bajaj earlier, long back, Bajaj entered into US to manufacture something. Then Bajaj came to some litigation, but not regarding to employment relations. They other designing and patenting issue. Okay, but Bajaj. I think Bajaj is not only, I mean, only one or two places in Africa or maybe in Europe they have the presence now. In terms of the manufacturing hub they have set up, and they have the very small number of employees employed abroad. Bajaj has. So there are, you can see large number of Indian organizations are entering into foreign markets, foreign companies. Till now, I am not telling that Indian companies have been have been accused of doing any discrimination or that kind of thing. Actually, Indian companies follow the polycentric approach, or what I am telling. When in the international HRM, we say polycentric approach, because Indian companies try to adopt the foreign culture, the foreign practices, the foreign leadership wherever they want to go. Actually, so that's why that, which is not very common in the companies like Korea. You know, Korean companies say wherever they go, they try to enforce their own practices. They want to see everything, even the HR related practices, from their own angle. So the problem started there. Even in Japan, many of the Japanese companies will do that thing actually. So you know, the Suzuki accident happened in India, in Manesar a few years back, and the HR manager was actually burned to death, and a lot of problems happened. So see, this kind of problem never happened with the Indian investment abroad. So till now, I can say we are in the good side or the bright side, definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. There is one more question by Amrisha. Amrisha, can you please speak? You can unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay, just please allow me a second. Yes, Amrisha, can you try to unmute yourself?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. This side, Amrisha Minocha. I was, eagerly going through all the slides and all the things that sir had, enlightened us. But there is one small thing that still pops in my head, taking a real life anecdote. So while I was working for one of the very finest MNCs a couple of years back, so we had actually, I myself being into the HR team, so we were told by our bosses in such a way that we have to program their systems and we have to set up their computers in a way that the boss gets to see all the cookies and everything. So here I would like to drag attention of employee privacy. So considering the current scenario of Indian, Indian setup, where there is a lot of challenges in terms of embezzlement of data and theft of data and things like that. So till what extent, it is correct in terms of, doing such activities where privacy is also not hampered of the employees?
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, see, data privacy of the employees definitely is a major part of ethical practices in HR. But I'm telling you, different countries have different regulations, practices. India is the signatory of the ILO convention of convention number, I think 692A, something like that. And that convention actually clearly says that any signatory of the convention, ILO convention, that is a proposal or recommendation, whatever you say, they have to comply with the data privacy of the employees. Okay, in their own country. India has our own country data privacy act, laws are there definitely, and there are certain cases, I'm telling you, there are certain cases where the data privacy violations have been complained, have been reported, and cases have been filed. Concerned employees have been, concerned management position, managing people have been asked to leave the organization. Company has paid compensation to the concerned employees, and something like that. This happened in some of the leading IT companies in India also itself, I'm telling you. So a few years back, and it happened. It happened with the Wipro. It happened with some other companies. Okay, and it happened with the that is the company's name, I think, Subrato Bagji's company. Okay, that one in Bangalore is a famous company. Subrato Bagji was completely unaware about that thing. And it was when he went and did the testimony in front of the court, even the case went to the Supreme Court also. And it was really clear that Subrato Bagji is the owner of the company. He is one of the finest entrepreneur of India ever produced. And still, he did not know that thing. Some of his manager did it. But no company as an official measure can do it, I'm telling you, in India. No official. Because as per law, it is strictly prohibited. Maybe it is somebody who has done it. Okay, if it was reported, definitely, and the evidence was given, could be given, definitely by the court of law, it could be done. Okay, some actions could be taken, definitely it can be. So this is the thing. I mean, Indian law is very stringent law, very strict law. So we have a lot of pride about the Indian law, because one of the Indian law is one of the finest laws in the world. Definitely we implement the laws little slow, but whatever I'm telling you. So what I'm telling you, definitely it was not a desirable thing. Most of the companies, most of the countries, because I'm telling you, even when I'm working in the Western countries also, I have a lot of friends so they're working in the Indian companies also in UAE. Okay, now if they have some complaint, because they have the direct access to their some senior concerned person of the employee grievance cell, and anything they have the complaint, they can directly mail to India, to Bombay or to Delhi or somewhere where the head office is located. Okay, and immediately within 7 days, 8 days, some actions are taken. So there must be some grievance redressal mechanism also in the companies, because it is allowed in Indian law. Indian law actually has told to set up some grievance mechanism at present. So this can be the issue of the privacy as well as employee grievance mechanism. So it's going to be done definitely. Unfortunately, just because this was done in the company, this is not definitely desirable.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I have one more question actually I missed from Suranjana Banerjee. She's asking about the term micromanaging. So we come across this term a lot. I mean, so do you have any would you like to shed some light on this one from an expert point of view?
Micromanaging means managing a day-to-day affair, everyday affair. There's the thing. Okay, like while you are doing this, conducting this webinar, then I got the email from you and then link and everything, and you decided about your committee who will organize the conference. I mean, this webinar. This is definitely day-to-day affair. In the company, maybe micromanaging is done by the operations people usually. So they have their clear mechanism, their clear policy, how they will be doing it, clear system in place like this. Micromanaging. Managing the everyday affair. We also, all of us do the micromanaging every day, our daily professional life and family life.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. There is something more with from Amrisha, that's on also, I believe, employee working hours, especially the labor sector, has been working for around 12 hours. It is a practical scenario. We definitely have laws to counter that, but still employers don't follow that. So how can we resolve that?
Yeah, this is one of the problem that, like, one of the many problems, like in international management HR practices, it happens, like the minimum payment of wages, payment of minimum wages. So that is also written in our law. But thing is, yeah, for the KPO BPO sector, some relaxation has been given by the government. We know that thing in India, and and many other positive things also happened, like work from home, flexible work practices. In many of the professions, mainly knowledge-based economies, it has been done. Okay, now what I'm telling you here in this case, so both the positive sides and negative sides are there. Definitely working from home, and I'm telling you another thing, for the worker sectors. Yes, workers, that is the informal sector. I am telling you recently, just before the finishing the presentation. Informal sector, there are many problems. That is not the international HR issue actually. This is the issue of local entrepreneurs, family business. Okay, many other problems happens, and you have to instead of working 8 hours per day, workers are asked to work for 10 hours, 12 hours. That is the issue of the local labor authorities. Like every state, labor is a concurrent, labor is in the concurrent list. Everybody knows that. Now in the concurrent list of India, say if you talk about that thing, like say if you want to complain, put some complaint, definitely you can complain. If you have the union, definitely you can approach the union and go for that. If your employee union does not do anything for you, definitely you have your own options open. You can go to the labor courts, and definitely yes, most of the laborers working in the informal sector in India, they are not educated. That's a major problem. Okay, now they are not qualified, they do not know what to approach, how to approach, and in front of them the management and the employers are very powerful, mighty people. Okay, how they will fight with a person like at that stature. So this is definitely a social issue. That is not actually, yeah, government has come up with many mechanisms, many policies in every state, I'm telling you, because but with the growing emphasis on deunionization, or growing emphasis on giving more power to the investor, definitely challenges are increasing. That's the main thing.
Brilliant, sir. So I'd like to thank you personally for your time today, and I think we are almost at the end of the time, and we should definitely like manage our time when we are talking a lot about like management here. And I'd like to personally thank you for like this elaborate discussions. We got a lot of insights, and I think the students will be very, very intrigued by the ideas, and they would definitely want to get in touch with you later sometimes, because I got some requests that like if you can kindly share some of your slides with the students.
Yeah, I'll
uh,
send the slide to Kajal, and definitely will do it.
right, so that'd be very helpful. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank my college, the entire fraternity of BC College, and our principal sir, and of course Kajal sir for taking the initiative, and Santunuda also like supporting me on this one. And a special thanks to all the participants. I mean, it has been such a wonderful participation today. I mean, it's very rare. So thank you so much, sir. We'll be in touch. We'll definitely get in touch with you as and when we require some guidance from your end. And I'd like to close this session today, and let's all stay good, stay safe during this troubled time. And thank you so much, sir, again. We'll meet soon. Yeah, take care, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.